In China, many single women express a desire for male attention, flirtation, and the excitement of being desired, despite rejecting the traditional paths of marriage and long-term relationships. Social media has made this duality even more visible. Single women curate their lives online, projecting confidence and beauty while also revealing moments of vulnerability. Posts may range from glamorous selfies and luxury hauls to lonely reflections about dating fatigue, ghosting, or feeling left behind as peers settle down. Women express both freedom and loneliness that come with their independence. The term leftover woman was popularized in the late 2000s to describe women over the age of 27 who are unmarried.
为什么很
Why do many good girls not have boyfriends or even anyone pursuing them? The rise of short videos has given men today an emperor-like lifestyle. 3 skewers of barbecue, 2 bottles of beer, and a plate of peanuts. Then they open TikTok. Oh my, all kinds of good girls instantly flood their vision. Tall ones, slim ones, older ones, younger ones, some singing, some dancing, some wearing black stockings and showing off long legs, others in bikinis flaunting their curves. Sipping beer, munching on barbecue, and watching these ladies perform their talents. Ah, what a heavenly life. I could lie at home like this forever and never feel bored. But you expect me to go find a girlfriend? Not only would I have to take care of her every need, but I'd also have to work like an ox, even turning on the AC for her. What's worse, there's no reward, just exhaustion, this kind of thankless labor. Only a man with a broken brain would do it. Most men may be simple, but they're not idiots, so they don't want to bother chasing girls. When the urge strikes, they'll just spend $50 on Taobao or JD to buy a decent toy. Then they can play however they want. When men no longer need women, even the best girls can only end up single. Another thing, many high-quality girls often feel this way. They're always flirted with but rarely seriously pursued. There are actually quite a few guys interested in them, but very few who actually put in the effort to chase them. Why is that? Because for a guy, he might have tried hard to pursue a girl once, only to face rejection or some level of resistance. Instead of persisting, he chooses to accept fate and leave her alone. In the guy's mind, this counts as I tried but I failed. But in most girls' understanding? Chasing for a bit and then giving up, that's just typical flirting, not a sincere pursuit. So what counts as a real pursuit? If a high-quality guy chases for a while and then stops, it's flirting. If a loser chases for a while and then stops, it's finally over, no more harassment. But it's not a real pursuit. That loser's persistent chasing? Harassment. Creepy. A high-quality guy's persistent chasing? Now that's a real pursuit. Looking at it this way, the kind of pursuer who truly fits most girls' definition has an ideal probability of just 1 in 4. And let's not forget, a high-quality man isn't short on options. So the scenario where a high-quality guy persistently pursues a girl? In real life, that's pretty rare. Even if we split it half and half, that's a 1 in 8 chance. So out of 8 high-quality men chasing a girl, at most 1 might stick with it. And high-quality men? You'd be lucky to find 1 in 1,000. So for a girl to encounter a high-quality man pursuing her is a 1 in 1,000 chance. With odds like that, it's no wonder so many good girls are single. Finally, let me say something even more real. Many women have a huge misunderstanding about whether they qualify as good girls. In the eyes of self-proclaimed little fairy girls, their definition of a good girl goes like this. I smoke, I drink, I have tattoos, but I'm a good girl. I don't smoke, drink, or have tattoos, so I'm an even better girl. As long as I have no bad habits and work a steady job, I'm a super good girl. Even if I don't meet any of the above, at least I'm above average in looks, so I'm still a good girl. But here's the thing, that above average look? It's self-rated. A girl who rates herself a 6 is at most a 5 in reality. What girls don't realize is that in men's eyes, only those with both good looks and good character count as high-quality good girls. Those self-proclaimed little fairies? Their photos are all edited with beautifying apps and Photoshop, not their real faces. Those who think they're top tier in both looks and personality, those high-quality good girls who are brimming with confidence. Oh, I'll definitely find my Prince Charming. Who never even glance at the guys around them. In reality, in the eyes of most men, they're nothing special. I'm not trying to bash girls here, I just want to tell you, be objective, be realistic. Don't let the people around you brainwash you with flattery like, oh, you're so pretty. Or you're so amazing. And actually start believing it. If you fall for it, you're being incredibly foolish, because those praising you are just using a harmful little trick called praise to destroy. The higher they lift you up, the harder you'll fall. Don't believe me? Turn around right now and look at the people who praise you. Are any of them actually happier than you? If you want to learn more about this, go watch my first video. I'm March, the one who understands you best.
大龄女生最崩溃的一个
When is the most devastating moment for an older single woman? I know an unmarried woman approaching 40, an only child from a business-owning family. In her youth, she was above average in looks and never lacked suitors. When she first returned from studying abroad, she worked in finance and earned a decent income at a young age. As a result, she was extremely confident, believing her standards were justified. Her future boyfriend had to be exceptional, a top-tier graduate, 985 university, at least a master's degree, preferably with overseas experience, already successful in his career, owning a home and car with no debt, earning more than her, with greater family wealth, and no more than 3 years her senior. On top of that, he had to be tall, handsome, good at sweet-talking, and able to provide emotional support. Back then, her social media was filled with glamorous snapshots of her life and selfies. The idea that she might struggle to get married never crossed her mind. But by 28 or 29, as people around her started getting married one after another, she began feeling the pressure. Her standards loosened slightly, just a regular master's degree would do, but he still had to be an only child with parents who had pensions. He also needed to be a high-level executive in finance or tech. She believed men in those fields earned well. Government employees were out of the question. They'd lower her standard of living. Later, through family introductions, she went on many blind dates. The high earners weren't good-looking enough. The handsome ones had too much dating experience. The emotionally inexperienced ones were too dull to impress her. Just like that, time slipped away. After turning 30, she finally realized she might actually end up single. So she came to me and said, "Sis, I've lowered my standards now, just a bachelor's degree and good character will do. State-owned enterprises or government jobs are fine too, at least those are respectable." Seeing her sincerity, I introduced her to several decent men, a licensed doctor with good height, family background, and education, but she rejected him for being bald, a technical manager at a state-owned enterprise with a high income, but she angrily called me afterward. That guy was the same height as me. Basically, she offended every man willing to meet her, leaving me to apologize on her behalf. You might think, well, this girl has good conditions, it's normal she doesn't settle for men with obvious flaws. Can't you find someone on her level? But the problem was, none of the men she liked were willing to meet a woman in her 30s. They had a line of women in their 20s waiting for them. Over time, she realized she couldn't even pass the initial screening for high-quality men, so she gradually stopped getting introductions. She started attending matchmaking events and using dating apps. Since she still looked young, plenty of men showed interest. But upon deeper interaction, she discovered most so-called high-quality older bachelors were just polished facades. Very few were actually reliable. Her relatives grew anxious and even began suggesting divorced men. She flatly refused. "I've never been married. Why would I marry a divorced man?" 2 more years of resistance passed and suddenly she was over 35. From initial refusal, she slowly accepted reality. Her only demand now was that the man not have children. So she dove back into the dating pool, meeting one man after another over the years. But tragically, she discovered that even well-off divorced men were picky about her. "You're this old and never married, are you hiding some flaw?" Furious and unwilling to accept this, she felt she couldn't possibly have fallen so low as to be judged by divorced men. She wanted to prove she wasn't unwanted, just choosing not to marry. So she came back to me in tears. Now nearly 40, she asked, "What happened to those men I met before? Are there any left with similar conditions?" I said, "Honey, they've all gotten married over the years." At that moment, I witnessed the most devastating moment for a high-standards older single woman. It wasn't the pressure from family nor the loneliness of facing struggles alone, but the realization that even after lowering her standards and meeting countless men, none were right. As she grew older and more anxious, she finally met someone who seemed perfect, only to find he either wasn't interested in her at all, was a player, or worse, a scammer with ulterior motives. By the time she accepted reality and was ready to settle down, no one was left waiting for her. Truly, a mix of regret for the past and unwillingness to accept mediocrity. In recent years, China has seen a significant rise in divorce rates, particularly driven by women initiating the separation. However, an emerging trend shows that a considerable number of these women later regret their decision due to the emotional and social challenges of being alone. Some women also struggle financially if they were not the primary earners. Additionally, social media and feminist movements have encouraged women to demand more in marriages, leading to higher divorce rates. Let's hear firsthand from the women who have destroyed their marriages and now regret it. Don't forget to subscribe.
我离婚了。
I got divorced, but not long after I started regretting it. Later, when I wanted to go back to him, it was already too late. My ex-husband refused to reconcile, and honestly, I dare say over 90% of divorced women end up regretting it. I thought I could find happiness with someone else, so I chose divorce. But when I saw the video my daughter sent me, her hair disheveled, her clothes dirty, looking like a little beggar, I was filled with regret. I finally realized that after divorce, it's the children who suffer the most. I had hoped to find someone better and ended up with a man 10 years older than me, but he didn't give me money. Instead, he asked me for it. Sometimes during arguments, he would even call me second-hand goods, which was really painful and heartbreaking. If I hadn't gotten divorced, at least my child would still have a complete family. This is the true story of one of my followers. Would you support her decision to reconcile? As a mom myself, I believe marriage requires effort. A person who can't swim will drown no matter how many pools they change.